Fraser, you can present your video. You can play the video and then talk about your situation.
Okay, so you want me to play each video and then give it a bit of an explanation?
Yes, please.
Spot on. It'll take a bit of time to load, but. Okay, I'll just play it one more time.
Okay, mate.
Okay, so as a group, we decided that we thought that Ash, who was playing as left back, was getting into the center of the triangle too easily, as the right back defender was showing him the inside too much, which allowed him to come to the center of the court and make the pass to Joe Sanyal, who was playing at right back for the red team.
Fraser, do me a favour, mate. Sorry to interrupt you. You see
Yeah.
your mouse cursor?
Yeah.
If you just drag that over the area that you're talking about, it'll help the people that are watching this back.
So here, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Just drag it over where you're talking about.
Yeah, no worries. So here, this is Ash, and as he gets the ball from who has it? I think Alex was playing at center. He then makes the movement to the inside, and the defender here isn't able to make enough contact to make sure that Ash comes outside him. And then instead, Ash comes inside the two defender into the center of the court and is able to make the pass across. And this means that Joe then has, I think it might even create a 2-on-1 this side, but Joe isn't able to make the pass down to, I think it's, down to me at right wing.
Yep.
Okay.
Another tip, and this is for all of you that are going to present in a second. Don't try to remember the players' names. Just say the right winger, right back, playmaker. It's just,
all right. Yeah.
Makes a lot more.
So I'll move on to the second one.
Okay, so the resolution you're saying is for Nathan to, who was the number 2 defender, to force the player outside.
Yep.
Just go. Can you go back to that slide for me, please?
Yeah.
Fraser.
Hold on.
So we're on slide number 1 for your first one. What do you make of the point defender, the guy at the top of the triangle? What's his job when the number 2's got the ball?
So
when the right back's got the ball.
When we were talking, we were saying that the point defender was way too high in this scenario, because the center for the red team was effectively out of the play. He wasn't really posing too much of a threat at that point. And so the point defender should drop down to stop the right back from coming into the center of the triangle if he gets past the 2 defender.
Yeah, so just drag your mouse over the area that you're talking about.
So here, the defender should drop back into here,
preventing that player coming inside and then making that back-to-back pass as well. Fantastic. Thank you, Fraser. Can you move on to your next slide, please, mate?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So this is just a short clip, but basically, I think if you can't see, the right back makes the movement in towards here. The defender comes across, but it looks like the wing defender doesn't have full trust in this defender making the tackle, which means that the wing defender comes up, leaving the space for the left wing to have a shot in this sort of area. It's not quite as tight as angle as that shows, but the pass is then made, which leaves an open shot for the wing coming in.
Can you play the clip again, please, Fraser?
Yeah, no worries.
What are we thinking about the depth of the number 2 defender on your screen on the tactics board is very, very close to the 6 meter, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think maybe not quite that close in the video, but it's very low at that point. The 2 defenders should definitely be more up in the right back's face, making contact, using their feet to show them outside, but they should be further sort of up here, or almost at 9, maybe further.
Definitely, and then giving that the wing defender that opportunity to move underneath and just protect behind a little bit, so we don't have the breakthrough. And just a small clarification: it's the left back you're talking about, and not the right back.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
that's okay. Thank you. Let's move on to your next one.
that's the wrong one. Sorry, just showing the wrong clip there.
Good.
Okay, so again, this is quite similar to the first one. So the 2 defender here is too flat, too horizontal to the sideline, which means that the left back is able to look wide, then cut inside and come into the center. The point defender, which is around here, is also still too high at this point. And needs to drop back again, because it's basically the left back is running into a huge space in here if the point defender is up here once he's got past the right back, which it shouldn't happen in the first place, but in that instance it means that the point defender would give some extra cover, and from there contact really should be made by this defender, because he's not actually covering the line is further across at that point in time. And contact should be made on the left back as he comes in. If that had happened, then the left back wouldn't have been able to make the cross-court pass over to the winger.
Yeah, okay, thank you, mate. Yeah, that's fine, you can move on to your next one.
Okay, I'll show that one again. Okay, so what happens here is as the play starts, the ball's coming across here, comes back across, and then the right back comes into second line over on this side of the defense. And as this happens, the center moves across, makes the pass down to the right wing, because he's given space by this defender, as the pivot is, the line player is on this side. So it means that this defender is trying to cover, which gives lots of space for the right winger. He makes a wing to wing pass, as he spots there's more space on this side for the wing to shoot here. What we were saying and what Joe Joe Saniel was saying was that he was the right back at that time, and he felt that as he came through the defense, there was very little pressure, little contact being put on him to slow him down to get into his position at second line here.
Yep.
And so really this defender here and then this defender here who wasn't on the line at that point should be putting a lot more contact, a lot more pressure to slow him down into that play.
Okay. And how could we resolve the situation to allow, first of all, the winger to have that, so in this situation, the right wing to receive the ball so easily in so much space to make the pass across? I noticed that at the moment they're covering the line player. Who's potentially should be taking that responsibility?
Well, if this player is coming in to here, he doesn't have the ball at that point, then there's no need for the two to be that high. He should be able to, well, he could be able to drop down and cover here, which might allow this defender to close down the space for the winger.
Okay. Anyone have any other thoughts on that one? Okay, thanks, Fraser. You can move on.
This one's a bit of a longer clip. Okay, so this clip, it was more in our discussion about how the defense played as a whole, because there were obviously more than one phase of the attack. So we agreed that the two defender of what it seemed to be a 3-2-1 at that point was too passive on the left back both times. So Louis and Joe Saniel were playing at left back at two different phases of that attack, and both times they were able to come inside this defender here into the center of the 3-2-1. Both times were then contacted by the defender in the middle and couldn't get the pass away, or a foul was had taken place.
Yep.
And then we also thought that later on into the play, it sort of became more of a 5-1. The two defenders on both sides had become very passive, but the point defender was still quite attacking and was getting in the face of the center. But it sort of meant that it looked more like a 5-1. It was quite passive, which allowed the left back to come in more than once, and then for him to have time to make the pass over to the right wing when X ball was called.
Okay, so essentially coming into the space that we don't want them to be. We don't want them to be
exactly.
in that central area, causing us problems.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you very much, group number one. You can stop sharing your screen. I can stop that for you. Thank you very much, gents. Really comprehensive. Couple of things to tidy up on your PowerPoint. Just can you put there's a few markers that are out of position, and when you're ready, can you just drop some notes into the PowerPoint about the situation, and then ping that over to me so I can share amongst everybody. That's all right, Fraser?
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you. Group number two, you said that Mr. Trent was presenting for you.
Mr. Trent is doing the video and I shall be doing the talking.
Okay, so let me just find Alex. There you are. Make you the co-host. So Alex, if you can share your screen, and you guys can start.
Can you see that?
Yep.
Lovely. So if you want to play this video out first, let everyone watch it. Okay, so in this video, the ball is on the right-hand side of the defence, and Louis, I believe it is, comes inside, and there is little to no contact on him when there should be, and there was also be on the 1v1 on the number 2. And then when the ball comes back across again and is then picked up, Nathan, who then cuts back inside, there is no pinning of the arm, which means the line player is able to receive the ball. And also on the, I think it was on the right-hand side, I believe, of the defence, the right-wing defender was too close to the back defender, which means a wing shot the first time was easy to get off.
What's too close when we talk about the wing defender being too close to the number 2? What is too close?
So how we should view it in the 3-2-1 is all about individual defence, and if too close depends on how good of the back player is one-on-one defence, and if you don't have any trust in your number 2 and you think he's going to get beat, you sort of want to be try and edge closer towards the middle. However, because the player was going on the inside of the court, not the outside, the wing defender was too close and therefore should have taken a step out to mark the wing, because that was his player that was in front of him, and the play wasn't around on the left-hand side of the defence, which is when maybe the right-wing defender can move across because the ball's on the other side of the court. However, because it's on the inside of the court, he has a player to mark.
Thanks, Brandon. Okay, anything else to say about that particular slide?
Not necessarily. I guess you could say they forced a wing shot. However, the wing shot was too easy and it wasn't contested enough. So...
okay,
so
thank
then,
you.
On to the next slide. This is video 7, isn't it, Alex?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So watch the video. Okay, so in this, the right-sided number 2 is too far back. So he needs to start up a little bit further, especially because he's defending Louis, and Louis is quite a good one-on-one attacker. Also, they should have hit Louis on the bounce. So as soon as Louis bounced the ball, because he likes to approach it very slow, he should have gone straight out and made contact. And then when Louis comes on the inside, the defender is also just becomes flat-footed, which means 9 times out of 10 he's going to be beaten because he's smaller. Also, there was a slow ball that then I can't remember if it got dropped or was tried to pass. However, it was really slow. So the right-wing defender either should have tried to intercept the slow ball or make as much contact as possible as he can on the winger, because again the ball's travelling too slow for that winger to be able to pick it up. Like the ball shouldn't have reached the attacker in the first place.
It was a slow ball to the wing, so it was a ball over here, and this blue could have tried to get it.
Yeah. What way was that player facing when the pass was made?
Can you play the video again? I can't. I forgot to make a note on that part. So the wing defender we're watching, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So when the pass is made, he's facing inwards towards the court, and when ideally he should be facing more outwards when the pass is made. So then he can use his left foot to step up and make the contact on the winger.
Okay, I'm seeing something slightly different. Can you play it again, please?
Because I believe he is facing the right way, and then he switches all of a sudden. It looks like, I might be wrong, but it looks like he changes to face inwards
Pause it
towards
now.
the court.
Pause it now. Pause it now. Pause.
Yeah.
What way is he facing?
He's facing towards the wall.
He's facing towards the wall,
Outwards.
isn't he? It looks like his intentions is outwards. So you said he was facing in the court, so he's not facing in the
my
court.
bad.
He's facing. No, that's okay. But this is where the attention to detail is important because I think who's the wing defender in this scenario? Do we know?
Is it Fraser? Fraser Moore?
Yeah.
I think it might be. It's very small, so I can't see. But if Fraser adjusts his body position in any way, and you can tell me which way, how does he get more chance of successfully intercepting that pass?
Oh,
Well,
so he
he's gonna
actually
be-
he actually needs to face more inwards, so then he can use his right leg to step out and intercept.
It makes it slightly more easier for him to do that, doesn't it? To intercept that pass if he's facing that way. He doesn't want to be facing away from him and then almost make it a blindsided interception. So small details make a big difference here, boys, and it's really important we see those small details that we have our attention on those things. No problem at all. Thank you, Brandon.
No worries. We can move on to the next one. Yep, it's video 8, isn't it? Yeah. So in this one, we broke it down into 2 phases. So the first attack, then the player stopped, we started the second attack. So in the first attack, Louis is literally walking up to attack. He's walking, and at this point, the number 2 on the right, which is Fraser, I believe, needs to go out and step because he's literally walking, and he shouldn't be able to have that much time to make a decision, especially in a 3-2-1 defense because it's a high intensity defense. So he's walked into it, and then Louis then takes a bounce to go on the outside of the court to do a one-on-one, and then Fraser sort of hesitates and tries to second guess where Louis goes and takes a step back and completely opens his body up for Louis to go in, which he shouldn't have done, which would have been stopped if he had gone up at the very start. However, Max did do very well to come across and help when Louis did come in, so that was a positive from Max. I myself was in absolutely no man's land. I was not marking anyone at all. I was just in the middle of nowhere. So I either needed to be helping across in case Louis came in, or I needed to be back on the line. And I believe in this situation, I should have been more in between. I should have been more towards the right, protecting the middle. Louis potentially coming inside.
What's the role of you as a central defender? Like the main one?
To follow the ball, is it not?
Yeah, follow the ball. So there should be a line between you, the ball, and the centre of the goal, essentially.
Yeah. So that was the. And also in that one, absolutely no one was communicating, so we didn't know who had who, where the line was, nothing. There was no communication at all. And then in the second phase, if you want to start playing the video again, Alex, and pause it at the very start of the second phase.
Just let it run.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right, Brandon. You're digging Fraser out about him walking. You're doing exactly the same.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
So stop it there.
Oh,
No, it's all right. We can go back to it. So, what is about to happen is the point defender is about to get beat 1-on-1, and I just want everyone to watch what everybody does as soon as that point defender gets beaten. And in my eyes and everyone else's eyes, this is a positive from what we did in this defence. So if you watch the point defender, he gets beat. And then watch what everybody does.
Oh,
If continue playing, watch what everyone does. So he's beat right now. And if you pause it there is essentially, there's two players who have come in to kill him and protect the middle. You could also argue that Fraser sort of came in and then backed out at the end of the video. And then Joe Saniel also managed to wrap himself around the line and protect the line, which means, in my eyes, we successfully defended the middle of the court and everyone did what they should do in that position.
Question for Alex Trent, who's the point defender. Alex, what could you do differently in this scenario? What could you do better, mate?
Can I just watch it again?
Yeah, of course.
I think I was too flat.
How do you mean, mate? Can you talk a bit more detail?
So my positioning there, well, my positioning was a bit too square. So I could have been forcing him out to his weaker arm a bit more. And I was kind of flat-footed, so I was off balance.
Yeah.
So
when you say square, we understand that. So you're squared like that.
Yeah,
So that let's say that's not square. That's square. You're sort of flat against him, parallel to him, more or less. Yeah. Flat-footed, so maybe back on your heels. Okay, we get that. And you're saying force him out to the weaker side. Which way are you talking? So what would you have done with your feet? What would you have done differently?
To force him out, maybe like get my body in the way so he can't step right, because he's right-handed. I don't want him to go on the right side, so he's on his stronger hand.
So what would your feet do?
Well, my left foot would be in front, right foot back, and then kind of
adjusting your footwork sort of like this. So your left foot's up high and your right foot's back, so you can push him that way. Yeah. Okay, that's enough. Thank you very much. Next one, Brandon. Thanks, Alex.
Next video. This one's a very, very short video, so we didn't really manage to pick out much. So I believe what's
replay again. Replay again.
Right, so I believe what is happening here, I think it's just one main thing that I know John would go absolutely ballistic at if you saw this on court. Alex Trent, the point defender at the top, is, well, essentially his height is quite good, but because Louis right-handed, he's on the complete wrong side of him to defend him. So he needs to be on Louis' left. No, Louis' right, on the defence's left.
Yeah.
So he's able to force him across. However, everyone else's positioning was quite all right. I liked how, I believe that's Max Grant on the right wing defence, is not on the right wing, he's sort of in the middle in case anything comes in and he's protecting there. But the main thing about that video is Alex needs to be on the left-hand side of the defence there, because Louis just gets an easy breakthrough.
Can you replay it again, please? And then pause it straight away, please, Alex, if you can. Press play and then pause it as soon as it starts up. So pause it now.
It's not working.
It's okay. It's okay. Just drag it back. So as Jamie's taking the restart, Brandon, again, it's fair to criticise Alex. You're absolutely right. Alex needs to be in a different position. He needs to be the other side. But we are not ready to defend. No one in that picture is ready to defend. And I can't see the other two players, but I'm going to assume they're not ready either, because if you four aren't ready, the team isn't ready. And for me, as a goalkeeper in this situation, I would be screaming at you guys to be ready for that restart.
Yeah.
This is where we will get killed in games, where teams know how to play handball quickly. I've seen too much of that in my time as a coach in this country with club teams, that we just don't switch on restarts. So that's a big issue. And I don't just mean like attention. Where am I standing? How am I going to defend the next action, whatever happens?
Yeah.
They generate a goal scoring opportunity in 2 passes. Bang, bang, bang. No problem. Okay, thank you. Next one.
Okay, so in this video, it's highlighting the left side of the defense, especially the 3 and the 2, which I believe is me and Ash read out. So what happens is the first part of the video is the line receives the ball, and on who is that? On Ash, I believe. He receives the ball on Ash, and I come in and cover, which is good. And then it comes and restarts, and then he throws the ball straight away to Ellis, and Ellis manages to come round and take a shot. When in this video, we were sort of in a grey area, so we didn't know whether Ash should have fully stepped all the way up, because if you watch the video again, replay the video again, in a 3-2-1, the number 2 should be in this situation. The number 2 should be highest. However, if you watch the video again, is actually the point defender which is highest, and that's not where the ball is. So we were arguing, should Ash either be stepping out there?
Replay it again. I'll tell you when to stop if you can, Alex. Stop now. So in that situation there, the central defender, who I'm guessing is Brandon,
yep,
should be on the line player, and Ash should be out on that right back.
Yeah.
As soon as the ball was with the right back, the line player is no longer Ash's responsibility. In fact, in this situation, the line player is never Ash's responsibility. The number 2 doesn't defend the line player.
Yeah.
When their direct back player's got the ball.
Yeah, and this is what we were also half arguing as well, because I don't think he means to, but it's almost like the line player does set a mini screen on the right, and if Ellis was looking, because I wasn't there, the line was literally so open, he had a free shot. If you let the video play out to the end, you'll see on the right.
Yeah, there's a lot of things wrong with this phase, but the key one is getting the fundamentals right. And it's all well and good us having, and I'm a big believer in adapting to the situation. And if Ash is adapting to the situation, saying, okay, now I need to defend the line because I've managed to catch myself and get screened and I need to stay here. He hasn't defended that well enough. And equally, the wing defender's too far wide, and there's not enough pressure on Ellis anyway. Yep. So if we're going to adapt, we have to adapt better than we have. Rules are there to be broken, and of course, there's always going to be a time when the defence is breached, and we have to find a way to adapt to that. But if the first principles are to follow what we should be doing, and definitely, as I said before, and you guys have discussed, which is great, Ash definitely needs to be out higher, and you need to slide across and protect the line in that scenario. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
They're kind of what you've got drawn on the tactics board here. It's as simple as that. Although I'd have the wing defender slightly further out to protect the direct pass to the wing. So that's great, boys. Thank you very much for bearing with us. We've got one more group to go. I'll stop Alex sharing, and I will. Oh, Alex is ahead of me. Ollie Baycroft, who's sharing on your?
That would be myself.
You will.
Yeah.
The pro.
Yes, the professional.
Looking forward to it. You've got the functionality now, pal. Go ahead when you're ready.
All right, cheers. Okay, so everyone can imagine see my screen. So if we look at the first, I'll just let the clip play to start. Okay, so what we thought was about it's essentially the point defender pushes up on the pass between the left back and the playmaker and get an interception, who I think is Alex Trent. So we thought this was a good thing with the 3-2-1, as all options for the left back were closed off. So his only option was to try and pass to his centre.
Yeah. Let's just highlight and kind of like zoom in on that moment, because I really like how you've got your tactics board set up now, because if you don't have to replay the video, but what's great about Alex's movement is that he drops back in to prevent that back-to-back pass, that left back to right back pass, which is something that we focused on in the training in the afternoon. So he's actually done it in that moment, knowingly or unknowingly. And then as soon as he's recognised a left back's pass, and he's on his way to make that interception, which is great. But the first and foremost is he has to drop back in. So that very, very important movement is what we need the point defenders to understand. Dropping back in to prevent that pass from the right back or left back to the other opposite back. So well done, Alex, and thanks for that observation, Ollie. You can move on to your next slide.
Okay. So the next one, I'll let it play and just go back. So what we noticed about this clip in particular was we thought it was we're not quite sure what happened with the previous phase from the Reds attacking, because from the start you can see that their left back defender runs into the line player, so effectively is not defending. So as you watch the clip play out, you see that you've got line player, which I think is me, and their left back defender is being blocked. So you just see a 2v1 on this side of the court, which the attacking team, like, they do it. It's not necessarily the best 2v1, but it's quite a tight angle. So I think the single defender left does a good job in closing down the angle. But I think this was solely just down to slow return defense, as their defender didn't manage to get back in time, which it was 1, 2, 3 passes off from the start.
So when we were speaking on the previous group, we spoke about attention to detail, and what you'll notice about the player that's now marking the line player, when they were running back, what way were they facing?
They were not facing the attacking team. They were running backwards, facing their own goal.
So they're facing Nathan. So
Yes.
First call here is for goalkeepers to get the attention of your defence when they're running back and let them know where there's possible issues. So who should be marking the line player?
It should be their central defender, which my cursor is over right now.
Yeah, which would allow the number 2 defender to actually push out. But no communication has taken place, and we spoke on the Sunday of the camp about getting beat in these transitional moments. Now, there isn't like any real like gold technical information here. It's very, very simple, and it's talk to each other, like recognize where the danger is, and open your mouths, and that's something that we'll get more and more used to. And I mentioned it on the day, the goalkeepers, Nathan, Jake, James, Riley, whoever it is, they have to be able to tell the defenders where the issues are, especially in transition. And just a turnaround can prevent a goal scoring opportunity. So a real basic thing, but something we need to be much, much better at. Thank you, Brandon. Next one.
Ollie.
Oh, sorry, Ollie. Beg your pardon.
It's all right.
Been a long day.
Third clip. Okay, so what we saw with this clip is, as you can see on the tactics board, the right back has the ball, it's been passed around, and the line player, which is myself, moves out to, I actually, in the real thing, end up moving out a bit further, because I think I was starting to go for a screen on the central defender. But as I'm moving back, we said the ball gets past me around the 9 meter mark, 8-9 meter mark, and there wasn't enough contact on me as soon as I got the ball, because Brandon, I think it might have been Brandon, I actually can't remember, but anyway, their central defender wasn't close enough to me to make a solid tackle and pin down my arms. So yeah, that, and as I step round, as the line steps around this way to get through, but we could say also potentially this defender here should have also dropped back. So if I play the clip again, their left back defender should have dropped back to close down the space.
Okay, so pause it now. Yeah, go back.
Yeah, I'll
Play it again, please, Ollie. Pause it now. So a moment ago, we spoke about a situation where the number 2 defender in this scenario, so the defender that's defending the right back, doesn't defend the line player in this situation. They don't defend the space behind. They defend the space in front. They defend the player in front. Replay what happens. So just press play.
Yeah.
Any attempt from that defender to actually defend that player?
The mode was like hands. The footwork to get behind their line player wasn't sufficient. Essentially, it was all.
I'm not talking about the I'm not talking about the player defending the line player.
Are you talking
I'm talking
about
about the central defender. I'm talking about the number 2 defender. Replay the clip.
he was too passive, not putting enough pressure to try and.
Might as well not be on the court.
Yeah.
Might as well not be on the court. His job isn't to defend the pivot here. It isn't to defend the 6 meter. It's to defend the number 2, the right back in this situation. It's a completely free pass, without any real danger. Yeah, that's something that we all need to be better at as well. So yeah, okay, that's that. They don't need to defend the line player. They need to be out on their right back.
Okay.
You can move on.
So we see in that part of the clip, I'm not sure if that's what you wanted us to focus on, but it's just a successful defense, a bit of a mess, really a poor attempt at passing to the line player where it wasn't on, and a fast break as a result of that. But the bit which we focused on later. I'll just let the clip carry on. So what we saw in the last 10 seconds of this clip is while the ball is on this side with the right back, the left wing attacker comes in as a sort of second line to compress the left wing and left back, or the 1 and 2 defenders, or 2 and 3. I don't know which way around it is. But yeah. And as the ball comes round, this winger returns back to his spot in the corner, but these 2 defenders stay compressed and stay on the 6 meters, so they are very passive. So as the ball comes across the left back pushes in with no real pressure from either of the defenders, both of which are flat-footed, like 2 feet next to each other, square like hips. So all it is just draws both of them. They stand next to each other, which allows the winger to have a shot off in the corner.
Okay, thanks, Ollie. Is that your last clip? You got one more?
And there's one more.
Thank you.
Do you want me to move on to the last one?
You can move on. Yeah, there's a good analysis of the last clip. Number 2 needs to be higher for sure when the left back receives the ball.
So what we saw with this clip was the first part where they try and pass the ball to the line on the right-hand side was unsuccessful. So that part of the attack fizzled out. But the second point of the attack, where the left wing comes in as a second line, the 3-2-1 didn't handle it properly, in which as the ball comes to the right back, the left, no, the right wing defender is like almost like we discussed, he was almost like man marking the line player, whereas while simultaneously this defender, which my cursor's over, is too high. They're not covering this pass and defending the line at all. So which allows this pass to be completely free from there to there, because he has got a successful screen over this left defender, whilst also this player is not cutting down the option of that pass.
Yeah. So what you're saying in this scenario, when the right back's got the ball and we've got this wing transition into as a second pivot, that player can still operate as normal and intercept that pass. That means that the wing, if the ball does come round quickly, can the wing defender then get out to cover that? What, the right back, the left back? Sorry.
About this, and we said the second line shouldn't change the structure of the 3-2-1. So we were saying if the ball comes across, as the ball's coming across to this side, this defender will push out to make contact with the person and the and they will have to cover because it's a second line. So
where would the central defender now be in this scenario?
We probably up there trying to cut off. I don't know. Over. I'm guessing at this point. I don't know whether they should stay over with this line. Oh, hold on. They should come over to here, and that guy will drop back like that.
Why would you go over there, Ollie?
I guess.
Trick question.
It would. No, I'm looking at it now. It would make more sense if they stayed over here too, because then you don't need another person because you've already got one on every person.
Mate, you were right with the role of your central defender. That's you. Is to do what? The main role. Follow the
line player. Follow the ball.
No, follow the ball. We had it earlier on as a comment from Brandon. So if you follow the ball like you said you were going to, and be between the ball and the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the number 2 defender drops in to prevent that pass to the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've essentially covered all of our bases, haven't we?
Yes.
And we don't lose our structure, but it has to happen like lightning. It has to happen like autonomously, very, very, very fast. And you can stop sharing now. Thanks, Ollie. And one of the things that we all need, guys, is more and more games, and to have our attention on these small details that we speak about at the camps and dice camps and on these sessions, and to be able to apply them in game situations. And just unfortunately at the moment we don't have enough, and that would be enough. We wouldn't have enough even if we were in normal times and we weren't in this situation with lockdowns and stuff. But just to kind of wrap the session up, because I don't want to keep you guys too much longer than 9 o'clock. I'm really happy with the level of engagement, the level of conversation that we've been having. It's been really interesting to see the level of understanding of the 3-2-1 principles, and knowing that some of you that have been with us for much longer have got a higher understanding than the ones that are coming in, and that's completely okay. What we're trying to do is get that bring those boys up and still try and push you, the ones who are a little bit more experienced, even higher. But it's really difficult to do. Like, we have an expression, learning is done by the learner, and there's no point us coming on here and presenting really complex ideas about 3-2-1 if we're going to lose half of the room. So I hope that the boys who have been with us a bit longer can appreciate that, and the boys that are stepping in appreciate that we are trying to bring you guys up to speed with the rest of the team as well, because ultimately you're going to be stepping into shoes of the 2002 boys that will be moving on into the M20s next year at some point. Gents, I'm going to start to wrap the call up. Is there any questions that you guys have at the moment about okay, so Charlie's throwing one in the chat. Charlie, no full games were filmed. All the clips will be sent out to you that we have, but there's no full games. So apologies for that. We didn't film full games at all. It was just clips because we were looking at the 3-2-1 specifically. No worries. Anybody else, any questions? I take the silence as no, Bobby, we've had enough of you. We want to go. It's Saturday night. We've got better things to do. Absolutely agree. Gents, big thanks from myself and the team, from Liz and John. we really appreciate you guys taking the time out. I know there isn't anywhere else for you to be on at the moment, so it's not like you've given up loads to be here, but and we really wish we could have had a camp in the flesh, but that will obviously happen all in due course.